1 year and 1 day ago is when I officially went full time in commercial real estate out here in California. And today we are closing on our first site in California in Fresno. So I want to share that story with you and more here today on the Commercial Real Estate Report, empowering you to build generational wealth with real estate. I'm your host, Chris Berg, head of business development for Abernathy Holdings. We go out and build Class A self-storage sites in California and Arizona. So it was exactly, like I said, 1 year ago today that I got out to California, went full time in commercial real estate. It was amazing. I want to share some of the story with you because for the past 13 years before that, I was doing this. I was out doing the media. This is me with President
Sure,
Donald
congratulations on
J.
the job
Trump. We
numbers,
had a huge
wages going up. I want to
U.S.
start
Senate
with President
race
Barack Obama
back in North
speaking in
Dakota in
Illinois today about the
2018. So he
midterms.
came to the
A
state
couple
a couple
things he said
times.
and get your
Actually,
reaction.
was
One, he
fortunate enough to
said
go to the White
the
House
crazy
and
things
interview him
coming out of the
there as
White
well.
House.
Thank
Two,
you,
he suggested
NDSU
that you're
Bison
using
football
fear
team.
to divide America
So I
instead
was
of holding
brand new.
power. Your
It was
reaction is what?
incredible getting involved in commercial real estate. Where I remember it was actually, last May is when we put the Fresno site under what's called a PSA, purchase and sale agreement. And I'm only laughing at that because back then I had no idea what a PSA was. I'm so green. I was like, I don't know what a PSA is. So obviously I've learned a lot in the last year. What's fascinating though is that before I got out to California, obviously I started to call out to brokers and do some homework on just looking for sites. What's the viability of getting out here and doing some business? And what was really interesting is that many of the brokers I were talking to, when I said, yeah, we're thinking about coming out to California, one, they would either laugh at us, think we were crazy. I think one of the most important things they would share is, hey, it's going to take you 2 years to get any entitlements done in California. I mean, it's a slog. You're going to have people suing you. And they went on and on and on to the point where we almost said, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't go into California. Thank goodness for Gary Theraldson, our billionaire hotel developer joint venture partner, because he said, guys, that's exactly why we want to go into California. It's a high barrier to entry. Not many people want to go into that state. So when you actually get an asset built and developed there is an extremely valuable asset. Now, I share that with you because, as I mentioned a moment ago, it was in May when we put the Fresno site under contract, and here we are now the end of March, and we close today. So less than a year to get the entitlements done, less than a year to go through the entire closing process. So I share that because sometimes you just got to do what you know is right. Sometimes you got to just do what experience also tells you, meaning thank you again to Gary Theraldson, to go into build great assets and sometimes really challenging places to build. So it is great news for us. We've got some more exciting news coming out next week. I don't want to get ahead of myself. We want to make sure everything goes as planned before I announce that, but some more exciting news next week. And of course, very excited to share with you some of the pictures. These are first renderings of our site that we're going to be putting up in Fresno. We ended up buying a little over 4 acres in Fresno, $2.75 million. This is a first rendering of the site that we're going to be putting up there. Public Storage manages our stuff. Going to be well over 100,000 gross square foot building. Here's another angle of what we're putting together. And it is in a beautiful area. We're at 733 North Cedar Avenue. Right in, like, there's office building, there's multifamily, there's a big church and school net close by. So we feel great. We're going to get a bunch of traffic on Cedar Avenue. And here's one more shot of the rendering that has been done now for our site coming up in Fresno. We're planning hopefully to break ground here. I would say probably Q3, Q4 of 2024. Give us a good probably year for construction and open up the doors, fingers crossed, towards probably the end of 2025. So wanted to share the exciting news with you. We closed today on our first self-storage site in California, in Fresno. We're excited to be part of that community. One thing, if you're not aware, with Abernathy Holdings and Gary Theraldson and myself, many of us from the team are from North Dakota. So it's really interesting because Fresno is dubbed the agricultural capital of the world. North Dakota, obviously very agricultural. And so it's been a nice fit for us as our team to feel like, hey, this is a community we get a good vibe from, we understand. And most importantly, we really appreciate and just excited to be a part of it. So Fresno, want to say thank you for being gracious and the way you worked with us. Thank you for making this not as arduous of a process as many people suggested it would be in California. And again, some great, great news coming out next week as well that we will share with you. So please share this with your colleagues, friends, and let them know that Abernathy Holding now is closed on their first self-storage site in Fresno, California.